And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Nerd Week Live here on YouTube, brought to you by us, the folks at Nerd Caliber. I am ladies and gentlemen, hearing myself again. YouTube should remember these things when I turn them off. YouTube, get on that. I am Rodney Brown. I'm the editor-in-chief. I'm the little tiny blue head, or blue surrounded head, in the Maya show. So that's cool. We'll call it the Maya show. Rodney Brown, the editor-in-chief of Nerd Caliber, also first-person shooter on the interwebs and Instagram, which we're getting a lot more active with here at Nerd Caliber. So hope you folks are enjoying that for all the pictures from PAX East. And joining me tonight is...
welcome to the Maya Show. I'm Maya Murphy. If you're looking for me on the internet, I'm blonder, as in blonder than that nerd over there on Instagram, but everywhere else you can just find me at mayamurphy.actor, or on Twitter I am Maya Axe, but it's at acting, not axe, not Maya Axe, so Maya Axe.
That could be your angry blog, though.
I should start that by now. You know, that's been my gag for a couple weeks now, and I feel like I just need to start Maya Axe.
You really should. Before we get into our topics, a little bit. Well, first off, welcome. Let's see, Fairy Pikachu, Emily, Kiki, Kevin, Harley, and Hydro Lover. Hydrating is important. Hopefully, that's what that means. Couple of promotions or promotions? Yeah, a couple of self promotions. So let's call it that way. I will be at Empire State Comic Con in Albany this weekend at the Capital City Center. It's the second year of this little startup con, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Put on by the same people that do Rhode Island Comic Con.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We have, this worked out so well, we have somebody at Star Wars Celebration this weekend. Brian Marchelatis, if you see him, chances are he's going to be kind of hanging around the 501st New England Garrison, because he's a 501st guy from way back. He's been the New England Garrison's one of their go-to photographers for years. He's doing cosplay photography for us out there this coming weekend. So if you're out there at Celebration, get your photos taken by Brian. You've probably never seen him, so you'll never know. Fairly long, straight hair, beard, slender gentleman. He'll be handing out the Nerd Caliber cards. So that's how you'll be able to tell. And we will be at Anime Boston in 2 weekends with a table promoting our own Cosplay and Photography Expo, the next occurrence of which will be 2020. Tango, sup? Jade, the geek with blonde hair. It's kind of a long name, but welcome to the show.
But blonde nerds, blonde geeks.
There you
same
go.
Wavelength. I'm a fan.
Bald nerds, well, anyway. Anime Boston will be promoting the Cosplay and Photography Expo. The next event will be 2020. We've just pinned down the date. We've got an announcement that will be happening at the end of this week, folks. So if you are at all familiar with what that event is, and you want to find out when the next one is, stay tuned. All the information will get posted up on the various sites, Nerd Caliber and its subsite, cape.nerdcaliber.com, this Friday. And with that, let's get into our topic.
Let's go.
And our first topic is, when he gets over to OBS, news about that lovely character right there. That is, of course, Princess Shuri from the Black Panther movie. And the news is, and this starts off a whole bunch of animation news, is that Princess Shuri is getting her own series in the Marvel Rising animated line on YouTube.
Pardon me, my cat has some feedback, but unfortunately it can't be understood, so I'm trying to keep my audio clean.
Well, I'm assuming the cat saw the pictures of the cats on Shuri's hands and just went crazy. So.
Panther, hello.
Exactly.
Cats, exactly. Done.
Exactly. So it's in the Marvel Rising. So it's the Secret Warriors. It's Squirrel Girl. It's that whole type of and group of animation. In fact, she's going to be integrated with the Secret Warriors storyline coming up later this year.
I mean, that's exciting, and I'm always hyped to see newer characters and more representation. And especially just in the past couple years, what we've seen with Captain Marvel and Black Panther, all the like tiny little children of color finally get to see themselves on screen, and I think having that on television media is exciting. And Shuri's awesome.
Shuri is very awesome. I don't know if you know anything about the comics folks out there. Shuri had her very own successful run as the official Black Panther in the comics for quite a while.
Know that. I'm
Oh
such
yeah.
a bad nerd. I gotta catch up.
It's we can't all be every kind of fandom. Honestly, I've only read a couple of those issues within that whole run, so I don't know her whole story. How well she did, okay. She had her issues. Um, issues. Thank you. Luminous, welcome. Inti Colado, welcome. Eloito, welcome. Sorry, I do not speak Spanish, so I don't know exactly what you're saying, but I hope it's something cool. And if anybody wants to translate in the chat, feel free.
Oh, I might poke into the chat. I wasn't looking.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Anyway, so Daisy Lightfoot is going to be voicing this character who voices a few of the others, or a few characters in the Avengers Assemble series. And these are like anime episodes. They're 22-minute episodes. And they will follow the Secret Warriors are going to wind up in Wakanda. So that's how she joins in here. Looking forward to it. I honestly have watched only a few of the Marvel Rising episodes. The ones I have watched, I like the way they do the characters. Stories are a little slow for me. But the characters are spot on. The voice actors are fantastic. So, check it out. Let us move on to our next topic. And that next topic is, as he tries to remember where OBS is, too many things on my screen.
Monsters at Work animated series, I think, is next up on the docket.
It is, in fact, exactly that.
Woohoo!
And that image, of course, is from Monsters, Inc. That you're seeing there. And the story, the news is that this series is going to happen, and they got both Billy Crystal and John Goodman to reprise the roles of Mike and Sully.
You gotta have them both, though. That chemistry is irreplaceable. And personally, I'm not the best with tiny children, and John Goodman is such a skilled actor that made me understand how much his love for the tiny little baby Boo.
He is amazing.
So great.
The John Ratzenberger is coming back as Yeti and another character. Jennifer Tilly. Just amazing. The people from the movies that they're getting back for the series. The series does not focus entirely on them. So there is new characters that are the leads, and it takes place within a few months of the first movie. So
okay.
the facility is gathering all of this energy from laughter at this point. But there are new characters with new voice actors that are going to be the primary leads of the show. And I'm guessing from the way they describe that, then that the main character really looks up to these two guys as being like the top generators of power. So that's probably where they will show up as occasional mentor spots.
Oh, because they're the best at producing laugh. Great.
Exactly. So even though it's not going to focus specifically on Mike and Sully, they will be in it, and that alone makes it just awesome.
Yeah, I'm on board from that.
Looking at the information to see when we're going to see this, and I'm not really seeing that information in here. This picks up 6 months after. Yeah, it doesn't say. 2020. Sometime in 2020. And it will be on Disney Plus, their streaming platform.
Oh, they're just trying to get me on Disney Plus. I started out very skeptical, and now I'm like, oh, mostly sold.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they're doing on Disney Plus that's making this thing almost a must-watch. I mean, The Mandalorian alone, live-action Mandalorian,
oh yeah,
edge of known space kind of show, done by Jon Favreau. Yeah, so this is just like icing on the cake. Tango Plush. Have we ever heard of the 2019 FanCon? I have heard of FanCon.
I have not. Tell me about it.
It's on. I've heard of it. So I'm afraid I can't tell you any more about it. It is not on our calendar, though. For some reason, I don't think we have anybody that's in the coverage area. Unless you're going to tell me that it's in Boston, and then then I'm going to feel really
if it's
bad.
in New York, maybe I'll go,
There you
but
go. There you go.
seems unlikely.
So while you're thinking about Tango, tell us something about FanCon. And while you're doing that, we're moving on to our next topic. And sticking with the animation theme, the trailer dropped for the Addams Family animated movie, and it is fantastic.
I'm so excited.
I love the artwork. I love the way they've turned the 2D line drawing characters from the cartoon into 3D that look like the characters. Wednesday's got that enormous skinny light bulb head.
Well, and we've been getting some hate on the design for Gomez because the voice actor is particularly handsome. And while we did grow up with Raul Julia, or I did,
Yeah.
exactly to your point of it looks like the original cartoon, and I'm so excited to, I don't know, to have a new iteration of that.
Tango, I get your sense that this reminds Tango of Tim Burton. To
Yeah.
some extent, yes, because the characters are not particularly beautified. They keep very accurately the way they're portrayed by Charles Addams, the original cartoonist. Gomez is a short, round Gomez Addams with a very Hispanic look to him. He's not John Aston from the TV series, and he's not Raul Julia from the movies in the comics. But I don't think it has a little bit more of the look of
The like Stain Boy series, or the Tim Burton's pen and ink drawings, the Melancholy Tale of Oyster Boy, or that's kind of where we got the origin art for Frankenweenie, but that evolved more by the time we got the stop motion Frankenweenie movie.
I can see all of those influences. I was actually going the way the animation and the character design looks. It also looks a little bit more to me like was it Monster Hotel?
Castle Hotel Transylvania?
Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah, okay, that thing.
And so let's say it's a mashup in design between the two of them, but I think it captures all of the characters. The voice actors nail it. Oscar Isaac is perfect. Charlize Theron. The jokes, even in just the trailer, are just hilarious.
I'm so excited.
It looks really good, including the excessive use of dynamite.
Yes.
So yes. This is coming out this year, pretty soon. This is, in fact, coming out, wherever you are. Nick Kroll as Uncle Fester. Oh, my God, yes. October 11th, so not that soonish. So you have to wait until...
Seasonally appropriate.
Yes, seasonally appropriate. Get your Halloween season started. For those of you who, unlike people here, I live really close to the city of Salem in Massachusetts, so the Halloween season here starts mid-August.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
For the rest of you, mid-October is a good time to start. Looks like United Artists is releasing it. Have they done other... if United Artists, Luminous says, looks like United Artists is releasing it. Have they done other animated movies? I am sure they've released other animated movies. I would assume United Artists is in fact the releasing agent and not the studio behind it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, maybe they did. So MGM, according to this article, is the releaser. So maybe United Artists is, or a United Artists division, is actually doing the animation. Everything in this article says it's an MGM release, though, Luminous.
Okay.
So that's good. You have to look that up. I don't know specifically.
Do some homework.
Do some homework.
I mean, fun homework.
Yeah, exactly. Like we should do some homework. All right. Moving into anime or animation adjacent news. That right there is your Spike Spiegel in the upcoming live action Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
And I took a long time to find this image from Harold and Kumar Go to Guantanamo Bay when he has that flashback of his emo years in college. Because that's the closest thing I can get to Spike hair on John Cho. Yeah. So the cast looks great. Um, Mustafa Kassir, I'm pronouncing his name right, Shakir, is going to be playing Jet. You may remember him as the villain in the second season of Luke Cage, with his sort
Oh,
of on again, off again Jamaican accent. Um, I think that's great that they're casting an African American for Jet. That's wonderful.
yeah.
Uh, Daniela Pineda, who was in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom as who? I have no idea. Um, that didn't really stand out to me, so I don't remember much about it. Is
I'm
going to be.
super hyped for. Oh, sorry.
Go, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm so hyped for John Cho that I think that just like pushed me over the edge. Though I do have one issue is that Ein is going to be played by a large dog. There's photos of Ein the dog, and it looks like a or a German Shepherd.
It's not going to be a corgi.
It's not a corgi.
That can't. Well, you're so incensed that your mic peaked out. Um, I agree. I think that's horrible. It has to be a corgi. They also haven't mentioned who's going to be playing Ed, and I hope that that's because they're taking their time to cast an appropriate trans actor.
Trans, non-binary. Give me someone gender fluid. Give me someone genderqueer because
Exactly.
Ed has long been a non-binary icon, and I'd love to see that represented.
Yep. Please, please, please do that right. There has been a little bit of foment on the interwebs about people saying, "Yay, finally, end of the whitewashing." Spike's a white Jewish dude, folks. The fact that they've got an Asian guy playing him is great. I could care less. But realistically, even though the animation, was created in Japan, the character is Spike Spiegel.
But
He's
the concept art for Spike is not of a white Jewish dude. I was looking at it recently and I don't remember his name. It was definitely from a Chinese punk rock looking guy, and I'm going to have to find that for you.
all right. Cool. That was the concept art at the beginning of. You're saying the anime or this?
The anime.
The anime. It's not what we got. So
Yep.
if you're complaining about the fact, or you're celebrating the fact that this character is no longer whitewashed, they're they're casting an Asian person for a Jewish role. It's all fine by me. So just understand what you're arguing about, people out there who are arguing about that. Daniela, hello, welcome to the show. But yes, John Cho, yes, please, 100%. This I love his everything that he's done.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and I think he can pull off the cool that looks like someone who has been through a lot really well. Uh,
Uh, this actually made me think of his turn as an evil corporate dude in How I Met Your Mother,
ooh,
where
ooh,
he like turns on the charm. And he takes Marshall out to dinner and be like, "I know you don't want to work my big corporate silly job, but I'm just gonna take you out to dinner. It's gonna be deductible." And he's smooth as hell.
nice. Looking forward to it. Tango Plus. Have you guys heard of the new Chucky movie? Yeah, Tango. We've done a bunch of pieces on that. Whenever new news comes up about it, there hasn't been anything in the last few weeks, so we haven't really talked much about it. Um, but yes, we have talked about it. We are aware of it. Um, Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know that I've heard there's a new game coming out, or if there's a movie coming out. If that's what you're talking about, so let me know about that one. That would be interesting. Moving on to our next. This is really not animation at all. Although, now that I think about it, they've actually made animated movies off of this. So I guess we are continuing. That, folks, right there are the beautiful, beautiful people of Starship Troopers, the original movie.
Yes.
And the news
What a
is,
chin.
what a chin, what a chin, what a recessed chin like his dad, the other one, Jake Busey.
Oh, yeah.
Um, what a mouth. Um, actually, on pretty much all of them, but on her. Um, the news is that the rumored TV series Starship Troopers by the guy who wrote the original movie is moving forward with apparently Jake Busey, one in the middle, and Casper Van Dien, our hero Rico, reprising their roles.
I mean, speaking of whitewashed movies, You have
Well,
a
yeah.
whole bunch of Latino names with very pretty white actors.
That is 100% true. Yeah. I mean, other than the fact that Argentina might have been a home at one point for lots of Nazi people hiding.
Oh, yes.
Uh,
Wasn't even thinking about that.
yeah, it's possible that bloodline could be there, but no, no. Um, so the news is this is moving along, and Jake Busey has confirmed in an interview that he has been talking with both Casper Van Dien, apparently the two of them are still best buds, they work out all the time, and the writer who is trying to shop this as a series to hopefully somewhere like HBO where people can get really brutally slaughtered and bugs can explode. Fingers crossed. Tango. Yes, they said there was a Five Nights at Freddy's movie coming out, but I'm not sure if it's true. I'll look into that, Tango. I'll see if I can find anything to put on our docket for an upcoming week. But thanks for the heads up. So yeah, Starship Troopers. It hasn't moved into production. I don't know if Ed what's his name? Ed begins with an N. Newmeyer. I was right. It was Newmeyer.
Boom.
If Ed Newmeyer has written a script, even
This might just be one of those cases of they know how much their fan base loves the movies, so they think if they get some press out, they'll get people like us who are excited about it talking, and that will help them secure funding, secure actors, whatever rights they need.
I'm just saying, a series of unfortunate events has ended.
Oh!
And Neil Patrick Harris might be looking for a job. So.
Oh.
They're all.
I didn't even think about that.
20 years on, they're all like 40, 45. Let's have Neil Patrick Harris as the new chancellor. Yes, please.
I would love that. That would make me so happy.
Yeah, you know what? The more I'm thinking about this, the more excited I am about the possibility of this happening.
He ages so much in the context of the movie, though. They're going to have to make him look really awful.
Well, I mean, they did all the wonderful makeup effects for him as Olaf, so.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so fingers crossed. Moving on to our next topic, that is not a picture. That is now a picture of the 2017 Hugo Award presenters. I think it's all the presenters just standing on the stage. I don't think that's actually somebody handing something to George R.R. Martin, based on the description of the photo that I read. The news is about the Hugo Awards nominations. If you don't know what they are, folks, they are the Emmys, the Oscars of the science fiction writers and fantasy writers of the world. And the nominations have dropped. There's some amazing stuff in there. If you're a fan of science fiction, go check it out. I saw it on Tor.com, the website for the publisher Tor Books. The World Science Fiction Society. I was going to say Science Fiction Writers of America, but obviously not. It's the world. 1,800 valid nominating ballots. Just real quickly, and I'll just do Best Novel, because there's so many other things, and then we'll talk about one other thing. Best Novel, The Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Kowal. Record of a Spaceborne Few by Becky Chambers. Revenant Gun, I love that title, by Yoon-Ha Lee. Space Opera.
Cat Valenti. Yes.
Catherine M. Valenti, yes. Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. And Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Roanhorse. I don't know if Yoon-Ha Lee is male. Otherwise, damn, that is 100%, with the possible exception of Yoon-Ha Lee, all female nominees. Holy.
I think a lot of women writers have had to work a lot harder. And I think now that some of their work is being read, they're used to like rising to a different level just to be seen at all. And I think that might be why you're seeing the pendulum swing so far the other way.
Yep. I think so. All right. Here's just the crazy theory. The pendulum might have swung the other way as an overreaction, and it's not an overreaction, it's an appropriate reaction.
It's an overcorrection.
An overcorrection to the controversy of a few years ago where a bunch of people tried to stuff the ballot to get the science fiction book of a absolutely horrible misogynist alt-right just scumbag on the ballot. And they did. They got it on the ballot because of the way the system worked at the time. So if that's the case, maybe it's an overcorrection and maybe it needs to be corrected back. Or maybe it's just that in this year, these women wrote the best stuff. Let's hope that's the case. The other bit of news is that a fan fiction website or blog got nominated for a Hugo Award.
Very exciting, very legitimizing of a long existing art form.
A mothership archive of our own. And it's, I'm trying to think if this is the first time a fan fiction site, I'm not seeing it in here. I think it is, if it's not the first time a fan fiction site has been nominated for a Hugo, it's certainly one of the few.
Yeah.
But boy, does this put a stamp of approval on the idea of fan fiction as a legitimate form of and source for good fiction.
I mean, I think we've long had some legit fan fiction, like in all the novels ever written about Star Wars and Star Trek. Like, those aren't written by the TV show writers, so they just happen to get a corporate seal on it.
Right.
But I consider that to be fan fiction.
I think so too. And if you look at you look at Twilight and you look at it, so many other pieces of material that started out as fan fiction.
Exactly.
MCG, hi, how you doing?
Hi.
So, yay, kudos to them for getting this nomination, and kudos for the recognition that fan fiction is a legitimate way for people to express themselves, and it's not just stuff coming from the big book publishers or online sources.
Kat Valenti is self-published.
Really?
Really, truly. She was bragging about it on Twitter today.
Good for her.
Yeah, I love her so much.
I haven't read that. I'll have to check that out.
Space opera is like if Douglas Adams wrote about the Eurovision competition. So it's amazing.
It is
and
opera.
Hilarious. It's so good. I can't recommend it strongly enough.
Oh my God. I'm working my way through a brief future. No, what's the? I'll have to look it up. I can't think of it. Stories of dystopian future in America.
Said fun.
Yes, it's
dystopia.
Yay, dystopia. Okay, moving on to our next topic. That right there. That is from the comic books, of course. From the awesome Matt Fraction comics. Hawkeye with Kate Bishop, also known as Hawkeye.
Right.
Which is just wonderful that they don't care. That Kate Bishop took over the title, and then Clint came back, and they're both Hawkeye, and everybody's fine with it. It's
That's the best.
That's so cool.
Unlike our many Bat people in our Bat family.
Exactly. As a complete aside from what we're talking, if you've never read any of the Matt Fraction Hawkeyes, go pick up one of those graphic novels. If nothing else, for Hawkeye continuously dropping his coffee pot and just going, "Oh, coffee." Yes.
Know that feel, bro.
Oh. The news is that Disney Plus again.
They're gonna get me.
They're gonna get us. Is that Disney Plus is doing a Hawkeye series with Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton and a Kate Bishop. So
they haven't announced casting on the Kate Bishop, right?
They have not.
Okay.
I hope they get somebody awesome. Honestly, I don't think they can kind of screw this up. You get somebody who does snarky, tough snarky
teenage girl dealing with whatever Jeremy Renner dad like.
Exactly. Then it's gonna work.
And it's gonna work.
But Kate Bishop finally coming to the MCU in some fashion, and I say MCU because this is Clint Jeremy Renner playing Clint Barton, and Feige and the Disney people have said all along that the Disney Plus stuff is 100% connected to the MCU.
Oh, that's right. They established that precedent with the Loki series.
Loki series and the Scarlet Witch series, which is now apparently official.
Oh, I didn't know. I missed that one. Cool.
Yep. So, yay! This is so good. What an action adventure comedy team dynamic. This is going to be like The Rock in the Rundown, except with bows. Can't wait to see this. I might be setting my expectations a little high. I mean, yeah, sure they could screw it up, but
I hope they don't. I hope they don't. It sounds really great.
Yeah, I hope they don't, and I can't wait. Like much of the stuff that's been announced for the Disney Plus, since we don't even know officially when Disney Plus is going to happen, expected to launch in late 2019, then we can't say when this series is going to happen. It doesn't say that it's a launch series. We don't know. But oh, that's right. I forgot the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series.
Oh.
Can't wait for that. That one they haven't said for sure if Anthony Mackie or Sebastian Stan are going to be doing it. But Elizabeth Olsen is doing the Scarlet Witch, and Hiddleston is doing at least a version of Loki. We've talked about this before. It looks like that series is going to be him as a sort of narrator telling tales of all of the different iterations of Loki. So
we might be getting a lot more voiceover, a lot more story bookending than starring Loki in the Loki show.
Right. Oh, but they will always star Loki because it's going to be Kid Loki.
Sorry, Loki as we met him in the MCU.
Right. Not necessarily Tom Hiddleston Loki. He will be in it. And in it as in he may be sitting in a chair doing his narration with a pipe or whatever. But he will be in the show. But they've also hinted that it's going to be telling different stories like the female Loki, the kid Loki, all these other characters. Maybe the wolf Loki.
Ooh.
That would be interesting. Speaking of interesting, moving on to our very last topic tonight, did you see the Joker trailer?
Of course I saw the Joker trailer.
Folks, if you didn't see it, go watch it right now. It is such a Scorsese-produced comic book movie. The trailer is better than most everything that the DC universe has put out. Period.
Harsh but true.
I would love it if that wasn't the case. I really would. And Wonder Woman was fantastic. I haven't seen Shazam yet. I hear it's really good. This is a genius taking on a comic book property.
It's a God, what's the phrase I want? It's a fully realized version. It's not, well, we have the comic and this is our reference material, so we're going to go do this. It's, well, in this setting we can present the story this way, and it looks very troubling. And I don't know. I like it when movies hurt my feelings.
Yes. I think if it resembles The Killing Joke in any way, which told one of the many different versions of the origin of the Joker, it's in that way. It's in that it's disturbing, and you feel for this guy, even knowing that all of what you're feeling for him is eventually going to lead him to being a horrible, horrible person.
Well, it's The Killing Joke is about the void. It's the one bad day, and it's
Yep.
The point is that it wouldn't be one bad day if you're a slightly better person.
That's true. That's the whole point. That's the point that the Joker doesn't get. That's the point that's proven by his treatment of Commissioner Gordon. And it kind of looks like that's the thematic take on this movie. That this is that one guy that you didn't really want to give that one bad day. Because,
well, there's memes about it now. The memes floating around on Facebook are like, this Joker got thrown in a vat of acid. This Joker got thrown into whatever. This Joker got thrown into society. Society does this to you.
I like that meme. I haven't seen that. I'll have to look those up.
Oh, yeah. It's floating around. I'll find it for you.
So I mean, just Joaquin Phoenix does a lot of cool stuff for his various roles. When you see him just looking at this, you can see how incredibly skinny he is. When you see him shirtless in some of the scenes, it's disturbing. I have no idea how much weight he lost for this movie, but damn, he looks ill. I think that was a deliberate choice to make the character look frail and ill,
Yeah.
and you just further feel for him as he descends into his madness. I like the take on the makeup. I like the fact that it's more traditional clownish.
Yes.
There's a Paul Wayne Gacy look to this.
100% there is.
Yep.
Yes, there is. In the little blue triangles.
The blue triangles. Yep. It's probably intentionally designed to make you feel like this is a more real way a ultimately serial killer, which is what the Joker becomes, is going to portray himself.
Well, I also appreciate as a cinematic touch that it is a clown makeup inexperienced serial killer could do at home, which might seem like a really silly nit to pick, but it takes me out of the movie a bit when I see someone who's very careless in their crime have immaculate eyeliner, and I go, wait a minute. That it is just very basic, but something is upsetting about it that speaks to me better.
I think Nolan got that. Christopher Nolan got that completely with the way Heath Ledger's Joker was portrayed, with makeup that changed, that was never clean or perfect.
Yes,
even
agreed.
when he was appearing in front of the gang of villains and making his big speech, and it was probably the cleanest he had, it was still pretty screwed up.
Still a mess. Yeah, it was great.
So, if you haven't seen the trailer, folks, check it out. It looks so good. Let's see. And I'm looking up here for when we get to see this. October 3rd. October 3rd overseas. October 4th here in these here U.S. states. Director is saying that the film is still taking shape. So it's interesting. I would assume that means that it's in post-production, it's in editing stage at this point. But Todd Phillips, by the way, is directing with Martin Scorsese as the executive producer. So can't wait to see this. I'm so excited for it. Luminous, I heard there will not be Joker reshoots because Phoenix has gone back to a normal weight, which is fine by me. There may be reshoots of other things. I didn't read anything there about reshoots. I said they were still putting it together. I'm thinking that means that Phillips is looking for the final edit.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I get frustrated. I think you can tell when films try to edit in a lot of reshoots. Like that was one of the major problems with Suicide Squad, is the tone of the movie would change scene to scene because you could tell where they were like, oh, well, we can cut in this scene and we'll punch up the script a bit and it'll go back to being very bleak. And I feel like the tone suffers. So especially if you have a Scorsese movie, I feel like it's going to be deliberate the first time around.
Or Justice League. It turns out I was off. I didn't 100% get the Joss Whedon versus Zack Snyder scenes. There was stuff that I thought was 100% Joss Whedon, and it turned out to be one of Zack Snyder's originals. But it's pretty easy to tell.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not. And the only reason you can tell is because you look back at the trailer, and the trailer doesn't match the movie more than 50%, like Rogue One. I have no idea where all those 40% of that movie was reshot. I have no idea where those reshots happened or were put in, except that when you go back and look at the trailer, it's like, wait a minute, a TIE fighter doesn't come up there. That person doesn't get shot there. She's not running down the beach with a drive. All that stuff, the fight scene at the end clearly got reshot. But anyway, that's our last topic, folks. Thank you all for joining us. Good questions in the chat. Thanks for your interactivity. We love that. We will go back to Tuesday next week. We just had a glitch this week where we had to do Wednesday. So we will see you all Tuesday next week. If you're in the Albany area, Empire State Comic Con. If you're in Chicago, like an awful lot of people, because Star Wars Celebration draws a ton of people. Check out Brian at the Celebration. See us at Anime Boston 2 weekends from now. We'll be at our table in Conroe, taking pictures and having fun. And stay tuned for the announcement about the Cosplay and Photography Expo 2020. So with all of that, I'm Rodney Brown, Editor-in-Chief of Nerd Caliber. And Maya, if you would...
Maya Murphy, Wandering Nerd at Large.
Is there a word for unintroduce yourself? Introduce yourself at the end.
I can sign off.
Sign off.
Maya Murphy signing off.
There you go.
There you go.
Thanks again, folks. Yes, Luminous Cape 2020. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, friends.